Hi everyone, welcome to Enjoy English. I'm Steven.
I'm Anthony.
Today's date is June the 22nd. For the next 2 days, please look at pages 46 to 49 under the origins. And the title today is Written in the Stars, The Truth About Zodiac Signs.Yeah,
我们今天要来谈的东西是星座。在这边的话，你看到这个 written in the stars， 所有的生命的秘密都写在星星里头吗？The truth about zodiac signs. Zodiac 好，就是我们说这种黄道12宫的那个 zodiac。然后这边 zodiac sign 指的就是我们的星座。那我们来看一下它的副标题 Finding meaning in the stars， 从星空中寻找意义。所以在这里的话，我们今天会提到一些字，在这些字里头，我要先跟大家讲的一个字根叫做 astro，A-S-T-R-O。然后很多时候你会听到这个字延伸出来的一些字词汇，像是 astronomy 天文学，astrology 占星学，它都是 astro 这个字。这个 astro 你重组一下的时候，你发现到它里面藏了一个 star， 就是跟星星有关的，甚至像什么 astronaut 这些字，全部是从 astro 这个字来的。到后面我们看到这些字词汇的时候，我会再跟各位提醒一下下哦。
All right, let's get started.
Written in the stars, the truth about zodiac signs.For thousands of years, humans have looked to the sky for meaning and inspiration. Ancient people in Mesopotamia began recording what they observed in the sky around 4,000 years ago. After that, Babylonian scholars wrote detailed accounts of how stars and planets move in the night sky.They divided the sky into 12 sections and tracked which planets and stars appeared in each section at different times of the year. Based on their observations, the Babylonians created what we now call the zodiac, which includes 12 signs. The word zodiac comes from an ancient Greek word that means circle of animals.The Greeks adopted the signs used by the Babylonians and gave them names. They also assigned characters and stories from Greek myths to the signs. These stories mostly focused on Zeus and other figures like Hercules. For example, Leo, the lion constellation, and Cancer, the crab constellation, are said to be animals killed by Hercules.Around the 2nd century CE, the Greek view of the stars became more systematic. The mathematician and astronomer Ptolemy wrote books on both astronomy, the study of space and the universe, and astrology, the study of how objects in the universe impact human
behavior.For thousands of years, humans have looked to the sky for meaning and inspiration.
好，我们来看第一段的第一句话，我蛮喜欢第一句话的那种开头哦。For thousands of years， 好，数千年来，感觉好像是讲一个很长的故事，它的开头，对不对？Humans 指的就是那个 human beings， 好，就是人类。你讲到人类的时候，你有可能听到 humans、human beings。或者是 mankind 这几个字都可以使用。Have looked to the sky for meaning and inspiration. 人们呢就会仰望星空，去寻找意义，寻找灵感。
So if I was just looking up at the sky, that's just me like putting my head up and looking at the sky. Okay, look up at the sky. But look to the sky for something is like you're looking to the sky for a particular thing. You're looking to the sky for a particular purpose. In this sentence, we're saying looked to the sky for meaning and inspiration. Meaning is like purpose or significance. Okay?Ancient people in Mesopotamia began recording what they observed in the sky around 4,000 years ago.
接下来第二句话告诉你说，这些古代人呢 ，ancient people 很多这古代的人们 in Mesopotamia， 在这个美索不达米亚的这些古代的人呢 ，began recording what they observed， 他们就开始去记录他们在星空中所观察到的一些东西。 in the sky around 4,000 years ago. 好，他就开始呢，在4000年前就已经在做这些事情了。
Yes, so this first word of the sentence, ancient, even though it has a C, it's pronounced more like an SH. Ancient people, okay? After that, Babylonian scholars wrote detailed accounts of how stars and planets move in the night sky.
好，接下来他就怎么说呢？他说 After that， 我们最先呢，我们提到这个美索不达米亚平原的这些古代的人，对不对？后来呢 ，Babylonian scholars，Babylonian 就是指巴比伦，好，巴比伦的这些学者们 ，scholars 指的就是这些学者 ，wrote detailed accounts。好，这边地方特别注意一下 accounts. We're not talking about bank account. We're talking about descriptions. 好，所以在里面他会写下详细的这些描述，好，这些说明 of how stars and planets move in the night sky. 指的是在夜晚的星空，这些行星啊，这些星宿啊，到底是怎么样去运行的？他们呢，巴比伦人这个的学者们就会很认真的去记录这些星象。
Yes, so let's take a look at some of these words, like scholar. Who is a scholar? A scholar is an expert who has a lot of knowledge in a particular academic discipline, okay? So these Babylonian scholars or scholars from Babylon, they wrote these very detailed accounts. So whenever you see this adjective detailed, you know that they wrote a lot of information and very detailed, like 很多细节的, so that's an adjective, detailed accounts. So you have to imagine, like if you look at the night sky, like there's so many stars, or there's so many things to look at, and they move so slowly.
Yeah.
So they must have used like a lot of time to look at the sky every night at the same time. And it's not like now where you can just have your smartphone or your watch and be like, oh, right now it's 7 p.m., right now it's 8 p.m. They had to do this every night for like a long time in order for them to make these connections. I just find that so fascinating.
Yeah, 就你想想看，当初的时候没有这些什么手表啦，他们可能这个看时辰啊，可能也是用一些他们自己的方式，对不对？然后去实际的去记录，他也没有像我们现在这些仪器，可是他们却能够做出这么精准的叙述，那要花多少那种心力去做这件事情，很厉害。
Yeah, and also the sentence, how it starts out after that, that's a really good way to show that some time has gone by, and after the previous action, something else happened, okay? So after that is a good transition that you can use in your own writing.
没错。
They divided the sky into 12 sections and tracked which planets and stars appeared in each section at different times of the year.
啊，在这边他提到这句话很有趣，所以它变成是一个很有系统的这种记录的方式。They divided the sky into 12 sections. 他们把天空呢分成12块，然后呢 and tracked which planets and stars appeared in each section at different times of the year. 他们就去追踪说，不同的星宿，然后不同的这种行星呢，是在什么时间点会到哪一个区块？所以在这里的话 ，section 这个字的话，就是一块一块的这个字的意思。那我们有的时候我顺便可以提一下哦，有的时候你会看到一些文章写说 the skies are clear，他会用这个 sky 用复数的形态去表达。那时候我就去问外国朋友，就说，请问这个用复数是什么概念？然后很多人说没有，听起来就比较有诗意 ，it sounds more poetic。但后来我问到一个人，然后他就告诉我说，事实上是因为古代的人相信天空是由12片布拼凑出来的，所以到后来今天他有的时候会用到 skies， 用这种复数的形态去表达这样子的概念，所以你听到 skies 的时候，会有一种古代的，会有一种诗意的感觉出来，是这样的关系。所以在这边的话，你看到说，它有分成12块，然后开始追踪这些星宿，从第一块慢慢到第二块，它的追踪我们就要用 track 这个字，因为它是以前做的，所以我们用 ed 用过去式来表达这个概念哦。
Right, so track, that verb means like they followed these things and kept records. So they tracked which planets and stars appeared or 出现 in each section. So yeah, like I was saying earlier, imagine how long that would take. And then I think just them knowing to divide the sky into 12 sections. Because when I see the sky, I just see like a huge, vast, like blue like thing, or, I don't even know how to describe it, but they were able to look at the sky long enough and to systematically, 就是有系统化的 like to split it or divide it. So split, S-P-L-I-T, is another option you could use instead of divide. And split the sky into 12 sections. It's just mind-boggling.
Yeah, mind-boggling.
To me.
Yes.
Okay. Based on their observations, the Babylonians created what we now call the zodiac, which includes 12 signs.
好，所以在这边他就告诉你了 ，based on their observations， 根据他们所这个观察的结果 ，observations 就是他们的观察结果。那 based on 就是指根据他们的观察结果呢 ，the Babylonians 巴比伦人呢 created what we now call the zodiac。好，我们就创造出了我们现在称之为的 the zodiac 黄道12宫 ，which includes 12 signs， 它包含了12个符号。
Yeah, and I like that they have the word now to emphasize 现在的人是怎么样. Okay, so created what we now call the zodiac. A lot of times when we read that, we'll emphasize now to let people know 现在的人是怎么样. We call it the zodiac. Okay? All right, so now, also, I want to call attention. Like a lot of times in our articles, the authors they want you to know like the different forms of a particular word. Like here we see observations, which is the noun form of the verb that we saw earlier, observed. Okay, so we usually try to kind of allow our students or people who are listening to our lessons or watching our lessons to know the different forms of the same word.
没错，很多是这样。老师刚刚还提到一个很棒的字，我现在来补充一下，叫 mind-boggling。boggle 这个字本来是堵住，所以叫 mind-boggling 就是这个东西会让我们脑袋堵住，让人觉得想不通他怎么做到的这种感觉。它的拼法是 mind M-I-N-D， 然后一个 hyphen。boggling 的拼法是 B-O-G-G-L， 本来是 B-O-G-L-E， 但是我们把那 E 去掉，变成 I-N-G。mind-boggling 就是指让人想不通的，
就是也是觉得很 amazing 的东西。
Yeah.
All right, let's take a short break. All right, so in the previous paragraph, we did mention the word zodiac, but here in this particular sentence, we're going to talk about the term itself. So that's why it is italicized, but the way you read it is going to be the same. The word zodiac comes from an ancient Greek word that means circle of animals.
好，所以在这里的话，老师先告诉我们说，我们在前面的时候有提过 the zodiac 黄道12宫，但是我们现在今天讨论的话，是讨论到 zodiac 这个字本身字源本身是来自于希腊字，所以它的话本身会这个地方你看到它会是斜体字 italicized， 好，就变成是因为它要谈到的是一个外来字的关系。The word， 但是念法还是一样 ，the word zodiac comes from an ancient Greek word that means circle of animals， 意思就是说黄道12宫呢这个词汇是来自于古希腊文，它的意思呢指的是动物之环，好 circle of animals.
Yeah, and the way I read it, usually because people who are listening, they might not be seeing the words. So to help them out, you usually take pauses when there's like a specific term or meaning. So I went, the word zodiac, pause, comes from an ancient Greek word that means, pause, circle of animals. So that way people who are listening, it's easier for them to catch what you're trying to say. Whereas if you read it straight through, sometimes we're like, wait, where was the term? Where was the meaning?
Yeah.
It might be hard to kind of follow, okay? And then the word zodiac comes from an ancient Greek word. You could also say the word zodiac originates from an ancient Greek word, okay? Originate is O-R-I-G-I-N-A-T-E, originate. The Greeks adopted the signs used by the Babylonians and gave them names.
好，接下来就告诉你 the Greeks， the Greeks 就是指希腊人 adopted， 采用了、沿用了 the signs used by the Babylonians， 他就沿用了巴比伦人们他们所使用这些符号。And gave them names， 而且还赋予他们每一个符号名字。
So adopt this verb, it kind of means take from someone else or take from something else, okay? Like adopt a dog, okay? Or adopt a child.
Yeah.
Okay? So you're taking this child or this pet from somewhere else and making it your own. So here it's saying that the Greeks took from the Babylonians these signs. Okay, they took from them and made it their own and gave them names. Okay, so that's why we're using that verb adopt. They also assigned characters and stories from Greek myths to the signs.
好，所以在这里的话，我们先把两个字画起来 ，assigned， 好，这个字，还有后面 to the signs 的 to，assign something to something else， 就是把这个东西给后面那个人。所以这边我也看到说 ，they also assigned characters and stories from Greek myth。好 ，Greek myth 就是我们说的希腊这些这种特殊的神话，对不对？把神话里面的这些人物啦，把这些神话里面的故事啦，把它赋予给这个 the signs， 赋予给这些特殊的这些符号，就变成是 assign A to B， 把 A 赋给 B。
Yeah, I want to call attention to the word myth, okay? If there's an S at the end, it is a little bit difficult to read because when we have a TH sound in English, our tongue is going to come out, myth. But then you have to add an S sound, myths, okay? Myths, like that. You kind of have to push out that S to get that sound out. Myths, myths. Okay. Yeah, it's really difficult. Even sometimes for us, we're like myth. Yeah, we like lose it. But yeah, it's a little bit difficult. So just practice it at home. So try to separate it first. Myths. Okay. These stories mostly focused on Zeus and other figures like Hercules.
没错。如果各位对于这个希腊神话有熟悉的话，你会知道这个 Zeus 就是他的天神宙斯，对不对？哈 ，These stories mostly focused on Zeus and other figures。这边的 figures 指的是其他的人物 ，figure 可以指的是像什么 numbers， you can talk about people，right？ 所以这个地方指的是 people 啊 ，figures like Hercules 啊 ，Hercules 是海克力斯啊，也就是那个大力士。你可能有看过这个迪士尼的版本，你也知道 Hercules 这样的一个角色，他就把这些动物啦，跟这些故事啦，好，跟希腊神话串联在一起。
Yes. For example, Leo, the lion constellation, and Cancer, the crab constellation, are said to be animals killed by Hercules.
所以他这边就告诉你一些例子哦。举例来说呢 ，Leo 狮子座 and Cancer 巨蟹座，那它这两个星座呢 are said to be 据说就是 to be animals killed by Hercules， 就是这个海克力斯大力士所杀死的动物。他就这样子把这些动物跟这些这个符号连接在一起咯。
Right. I want to call attention first to the word constellation. What is a constellation? It is an internationally recognized pattern of stars. Okay. There's a lot of different ones, and I didn't know this until now, but there are 88 in total. Yeah, I thought there were like millions and millions, but there's 88. And there are different constellations that everyone recognizes them if they are familiar with astronomy. So, for instance, the one I am most familiar with is the Big Dipper. Okay, the Big Dipper is very, very important to American Black history, especially for the slaves that were escaping slavery. So the Big Dipper, it's like a shape of a dipper or like a ladle or a spoon that you kind of take soup with, or that you dip soup in. The top, like the handle, like where the handle should be of the star is the North Star. So a lot of slaves that were escaping slavery, because they didn't have a compass and they could only travel at night so they wouldn't get caught, they would look to the sky and see the Big Dipper, and then they would look at where the handle, the top star was, and they would know that's the North Star. So to go north, they would have to travel to Canada in order to escape the US and be safe from slavery. So constellations have been around for ages, and they actually have a lot of importance in many different cultures and in history.
没错，所以老师刚刚前面就提到说，其实老师最比较有印象的，可能是像类似我刚刚听的话，感觉是北斗七星，然后它是跟这个黑人的历史有关系。那他如果说今天黑人在他逃亡的过程当中，好，可能他怕被抓回去嘛，他又没有这个罗盘的时候，他就必须要找到这个北极星，往北走，往加拿大的方向去逃。所以在这边的话，其实会跟过往的一些这种黑人的历史啊有点关系。那如果自己听到说88个星座的话，让我想到以前小时候有玩过一个游戏叫《圣斗士星矢》。好，它那个是日本的。如果你们有玩的话，你们会知道，他们好像也是有不同的星座，什么大熊星座、小熊星座、天马星座等等那些东西的话，它其实就是对应到这些 constellation。好，所以他提到88的时候，我突然想起来啊，我小时候玩过这样的东西。
Oh, cool. All right. Let's take a short break. A Around the 2nd century CE, the Greek view of the stars became more systematic.
好，我们来看这一段的第一句话，它告诉你说 ，Around the 2nd century CE， 这个 CE 就是 Common Era， 好，就是指这个公元。很多时候，如果说我们提到说什么这西元前的话，你可能有听过 BC 是 Before Christ， 然后 AD 的话就是在西元后，就是那个Anno Domini， 好，就变成是这个神的世纪之后。可是为了到后面去掉这些这种宗教的一些说法，所以就变成 CE Common Era 跟这个 BCE Before Common Era 这两种写法。但事实上它就是西元的意思，把它变成公元，这样听起来就比较没有宗教的意味。所以在这边他提到说，2世纪的左右呢，西元2世纪的时候左右 ，The Greek view of the stars became more systematic。好，到了希腊人啊，他说这个时候呢，对星星的观点开始更有系统的去记录、去记载了。
Yeah, 更系统化。
Yeah, 更系统化。
Systematic. And then CE, a lot of times you do see AD. In the States, I see AD all the time. But like you said, to take away that religious aspect, CE is also seen as well. And it is the year 101 to the year 200. Okay, it's the 2nd century. The mathematician and astronomer Ptolemy wrote books on both astronomy, the study of space, and the universe, and astrology, the study of how objects in the universe impact human behavior.
没错，在这句话里面就回应到我刚刚开场讲了 astro 这个字根，它就是 star。那我们在这里面有提到2个字 astronomy 指的是天文学。好，那在这边的话，另外一个字是 astrology， 指的是占星学，特别是讲星座的。所以我们来看这2个词哦。它这边提到说 the mathematician 就是数学家 and astronomer 天文学家。Ptolemy 就是托勒密，因为他这个是希腊的这种名字嘛，所以很多时候 T 前面还有一个 P， 那个 P 是不发音的。我第一次碰到这种前面 P 不发音的是讲到恐龙的时候，因为我小时候好喜欢恐龙。他提到那个 Pteranodon， 就是那种异手龙，哈，他那个 Pteranodon 它是 P 开头的，但是我一听到，他怎么没有发那个 P 的声音呢？因为这个 P 不发音，所以你可以在这个 P 上面打一个小叉叉，告诉你说，哦，这个字不发音哦。所以 Ptolemy 就是这个当时这个希腊的一个数学家跟天文学家。Wrote books on both astronomy， 他同时有写这种天文学的书 ，the study of space and the universe， 好去研究这种太空对宇宙的研究 ，and astrology， 还有占星术 ，the study of how objects in the universe impact human behavior。好，这种宇宙天体的运行如何去影响人类的行为，所以他2种书都有写，都有研究。
Let me call attention to how you should pronounce that last sentence, just to make it clear for people who are listening. So here, Ptolemy wrote books on both astronomy and astrology. We have the word both just to emphasize that there are 2 things that he would write about, okay? So that both doesn't have to be there, but it does let people know that there's going to be 2 things that you're going to list. So it's helpful in letting people have be mentally ready to know they're going to be hearing 2 different things, okay? So here, the main sentence is Ptolemy wrote books on both astronomy and astrology. Everything behind astronomy and behind astrology is just to give additional information to people in case they don't know what astronomy and astrology is. So how to read that is, starting from Ptolemy. Ptolemy wrote books on both astronomy, the study of space and the universe, and astrology, the study of how objects in the universe impact human behavior. So I did a pause for the commas after astronomy and astrology, and I did a little bit of a dip in the way I read it. And I even read it a little bit quicker, just be like, oh, this is additional information, but I don't want you to lose track of the main sentence. So that's just a technique you can try to do. It's not 100% always going to be like that. It's a personal preference, but it does allow people to kind of know what your main point is without losing themselves in the additional information.
所以说其实事实上 Stephen 老师这边所讲的如何用声音的变化去呈现主要的讯息跟次要的讯息，让听的人很轻松的听到你的重点，我觉得这个事情是非常非常重要的。
All right, so hopefully you guys learned a lot about the zodiac signs. Tomorrow we're going to learn more about them, so we hope to see you then.
Bye bye.